The first 3 months after the night Jungkook threw her pills away, he worked entirely from home. He kept his promise of protecting her, and she always stayed in front of his eyes. He let her be there for everything. The conference calls were voices spoke in clip tones about deals worth millions. The late night financial reviews were numbers scrolled endlessly on his laptop screen. The closed door meetings that, in another word, would have required her to sign NDAs. She never touched his documents, but she stayed, sometimes curled on the armchair, sometimes right beside him, quietly sipping tea, just watching him work. She didn't want to be alone, and honestly, Jungkook wouldn't let her out of his sight, even for a moment either. She understood what that meant. That kind of trust wasn't handed out easily, not in his world. So she promised herself she would never, ever give him a reason to regret it. She would never fail him. With the start of the fourth month, she was stronger, healthier, the dark circles were fading. Her hands no longer trembled as often, and sometimes she laughed so easily it surprised them both. One morning, while they were having breakfast, she said, Boyne, you should go back to the office. You have been stuck there with me for months. Jungkook, stuck? You don't know men at all. Being stuck at home with my extremely beautiful wife for months, that's basically heaven for any man. He said dramatically as if all of it was a dream. Ryan, you're too dramatic sometimes. But you know what I mean. I'm fine now, really. If you're so done with me, then fine. Ryan swore no single peaceful argument with this man. A week later, he was in office downtown when his phone buzzed. Her text was short. Ryan, I've been avoiding parents for months. They just called. They're coming over in 10 minutes. He was already out of his chair before finishing the message. Jungkook, on my way. Don't open the door until I'm there. When he walked into the apartment, the atmosphere hit him like a wall. Her parents were in the living room, Wine was on the sofa, shoulders caved inward, her fingers gripping the hem of her sweater so tightly her knuckles were white. Her mother's voice was sharp. Mom, you think a husband like him changes at what you are? You have always been weak. Dad, running away from your family, avoiding calls? You've got some nerve. Jungkook didn't move immediately. He closed the door behind him, his gaze fixed on them. Jungkook, you have overstayed. Her father turned towards him, scoffing. Dad, we are speaking to our daughter. Jungkook, you're abusing my wife. He stood between Wine and her parents. Jungkook, you don't get another chance to talk to her like that. Her father stood as to argue, but Jungkook's next words were lower, deadlier. Jungkook, I don't care that you're her blood, but if you want to stay in one place, you'll leave now. Silence. Her mother's lips parted as if to say something, but he took a step forward and they backed towards the door without another word. The moment it closed, one broke. She was shaking so hard she could barely stand, her breath coming in short, ragged gasps. Her eyes had no focus, her hands against her ears trying to protect herself from demonic voices. Jungkook's cold exterior melted right away. He rushed over to her and slid on his knees. Jungkook, whine, look at me. They're gone. I'm here. Your Jungkook is here. None of it worked. It was as if she couldn't hear him through those voices. Whine, I want to sleep. I can't take this. Pills. Give me those pills. Jungkook, you're not touching those pills. She cried out loud, nearly begging, while her body trembled near its breaking point. Whine, once. I swear only once. I'll never take them away again. Just this once, Jungkook. I beg you, please let me take them. Why? They said Opal left because he couldn't handle a burden like me, and you'll leave too when you're fed up of me. Jungkook, that's never happening. Look at me. He held her cheeks and forced her eyes on him. Jungkook, I'm never leaving you, and I don't consider you a burden to start with. That's what weak people say who can't handle their own responsibilities. So listen to me, Mrs. John. JK, whether you like it or not, you're stuck with me for the rest of your life. You're waking up every day to see this annoying face of mine kissing you a morning and sleeping every night in my embrace, which will never turn cold for you. Her voice cracked into a sob that made something twist in his chest. He pulled her against him, locking his arms around her as she trembled. He didn't let go. He knew despite his words, it was hard on her. He hated it. She never had it this bad even for the first time. She broke down in front of him, and he was grown enough to know this time it was out of his hands. Love might heal her, but she needed professional help. Minutes passed like that, long, heavy minutes, before the soap turned into hiccups. Only then did he reach for his phone, calling the psychologist for an urgent home visit, the same one he had been consulting Wine for. He never let her go, once, even when the session began. Jungkook stayed nearby, his gaze never staying away from her. And when it ended, She was still curled in his lap on the sofa, where she took the session, drained but calmer, in control now. Once the lady psychologist left, mine had felt much calmer. The need to escape reality and take drugs was not strong anymore. The warmth she felt in those arms and the peace she received from him, soft whispers, were everything to keep her afloat. Jungkook, I'm proud of you, and I love you more than you know. He leaned down and kissed her temple. Wine's eyes were glossy from how grateful she was towards him. She cupped his cheeks and kissed him. That kiss reflected every emotion she held inside of her for him: respect, love, gratefulness, loyalty, trust. She poured in every emotion for him to know, or maybe the kiss was more for herself, to keep herself steady. His kisses, his embrace, his words, his love and affection, these were the things keeping her alive.